And this is why I can't believe that people have any control over dragons. I can't even control, like, a cat that's missing a tail. My tens of fans online know me as a 50-year-old woman who plays with puppets alone in her room. But believe it or not, I wasn't always this cool. When I was an awkward, off putting middle schooler instead of an awkward, off putting adult, I found solace in dragons. And I leaned in hard. I was reading the Dragonlance histories when I was in middle school. I was playing D&D once my parents didn't think that, it made people go crazy. I've consumed a lot of really questionable to shitty media trying to see dragons on screen. And that goes from the exquisite, like Dragon Slayer, to the shitty, like Reign of Fire. From the exquisite, like Game of Thrones, the early seasons, to the dire, like the Game of Thrones later seasons. Now, Game of Thrones did eventually descend into just memes and jokes eventually. But I was always destined to go back to Westeros, no matter how bad that ending was, as long as they went back to a time with dragons. That's how easy I am. Now, the rest of y'all didn't stand on shit. So many people were like, I'm never watching it again, and ran back as soon as HBO and A Song of Ice and Fire teamed up. And that's fine. I respect that. I don't. But I kind of admire how easily everyone flipped. I'm glad everyone flipped because we got a pretty solid first season with great character development, a lot of sympathy given to the characters involved, and some really tremendous performances. Overall, I would describe season one as being not as good as Game of Thrones during its prime, but streets ahead of where it ended up. And finally, a writer's strike later, we're getting our second season. And I'm pumped. I'm not pumped at how much HBO is promoting the whole, like, team let's fight thing, but it did get us two trailers, so I can only complain so much. So, to really get into the meat of things, I decided to talk to. So, to really get into the meat of things, I decided to talk to a dedicated member of Team Green and Team Black, with Roderick Red representing Team Green and Christmas Tree CT Jenkins for Team Black. So, let's get into it and, just wail on these topics till they're black and green. That didn't work. I'm going to cut that out. All right, bud. What are we talking about today? Hot D. That's right. We're here to talk about House of the Dragon. What are you most looking forward to in season two? All the D. Me too. Looking forward to seeing, like, some new shapes and sizes of D. And the D in action. Your eye patch looks pretty sick.
Thank you, thank you. I thought it gave me a certain dignified, battle worn air.
Yeah,
I like your necklace.
thanks. I was wearing the sweater anyway, but I was like, let me throw a little something on for Team Green. You just think if we had done it like 2 weeks ago, my hair would have been Team Green.
Eh. The ends were Team Green. The roots was definitely House Strong.
Bitch. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Hot D.
That's right. We're coming back for a second helping of Hot D. What are you most excited about?
The D, obviously.
Agreed. I'm hoping to see, some different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, we got a pretty limited exposure to the D. I mean, it was quality D for sure, but I'm looking forward to more.
Speaking of which, we saw our boy in the Team Green trailer.
Oh, show me Sunfire. Let that bad boy out of the dragon pit so he can breathe.
Yeah, we want to see the most beautiful dragon in all of history. We want to see the glittering gold.
We want to see the pearlescent pink wings.
We want to see the shimmering flames. Show it to us. Like, honestly, at this point, the show can get away with a lot lazier of animation.
Oh, absolutely. When the story's this good, I don't give a shit if you do it like Pete's Dragon. Just 2D in a big fat cartoon dragon with a camel face. If the drama's good, I'll still be intrigued.
Fully agree. And I am looking forward to seeing Sunfire actually in action. All we got was like,
A glimpse on the cliffs.
yes, yes, exactly. Um, mm, so, ah, blood and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it.
Right. Probably right out of the gate, too. I mean, with the timeline of events from the books.
I'm not familiar. I'm illiterate.
Oh, well, I'm just saying there's a good chance that Blood and Cheese is going to happen in the season premiere.
Interesting. Heck of a way to kick things off.
How much of it do you think they're going to show?
Surely there's going to be a lot done in cutaways. I don't know. Like, on the one hand, they've done stuff this bad before. On the other hand, this is a lot. It's a lot. So let's talk about happier things. The whole gang's back together, all our faves.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what Otto's going to bring to the table, trying to advise his grandson and whatnot.
I'm just looking forward to hearing I don't know how to say this dude's name, Otto Hightower. I'm looking forward to him saying war.
Come again?
I just feel like in all of the seasons of A Song of Ice and Fire related media, he is the first person who has said war with the appropriate level of like horror and awe.
War.
Yeah, like I feel like that is the way that we should say it. Like it's something to dread and avoid at all costs. Otto is very screwed up, but if you think of his motivation as trying to avoid throwing the country into war, honestly, a lot of what he's doing becomes a little more sympathetic.
Hard agree. Oh no.
Hey, T Boy.
If you hear purring, that's the cat. And nobody knows what the T stands for.
No, his name just is T Boy. The T is not short for anything. Here he is. Hey, come on, man. You can't just park here.
Are we gonna get demonetized if his butthole's in the background of this shot?
Maybe. Oh, sorry, the crew gets a little unruly. Oh my god, do not push over my camera. Where were we?
Otto Hightower. I mostly knew that guy as a comedic actor, so color me impressed that he could bring the drama so hard.
Agree. Oh, you know who I'm looking forward to seeing? My boy Laris Strong.
Bleh. Laris is the worst. In the best way.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like when I say that someone's my favorite or I love them, particularly in this universe, people take that as meaning that like I approve of their actions. But what it really means is that a marriage of performer and writer has come together in such a way that my deeply battered creative heart is suddenly capable of seeing the fiction as reality once again. And suddenly I'm like a 6-year-old kid watching the Smurfs and wondering why Gargamel's not nicer. So I love Larry Strong.
That was long.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I like him because, I don't know, he doesn't really try to be anything other than sort of greasy and unctuous. No charm, no finesse, just a guy oiling his way into power or being behind the people in power.
Hmm.
I do have sympathy for the actor because being the plot exposition or world building info guy can be a really thankless job, It's hard to write in the dialogue in a way that sounds natural or conversational. So I kind of respect that they don't even try with him. He just kind of oils his way up at a party and is like, yes, did you know that the proper environment for blooming flowers is a warm spring?
He's just like me for real. Yeah, I don't really know how to talk to people at parties either, Laris.
I'm so stoked to see more of my one true king, Aegon. He was kind of a non entity in the first season, other than being, you know, a slut and then later an abuser, I guess.
Yeah, they've left him unexamined, which I think is interesting. Like ultimately he got way less play than his brother and I would say even his cousins. And I'm assuming that's because
He can be as fearsome as any of them.
yeah, I think that they're saving it for this season. I am curious to see. There's definitely a theme with second sons in this series, right? I mean, you've got Damon, you've got Otto, who are like essentially the same guy with different methods. And then you've got Aegon.
So you're curious about how much the fact that he was sort of neglected and never expected to do anything plays in?
A little bit. The second borns in all the families seem to do a lot of different things with the expectations put on them. And I don't know, I'm curious to see how it blooms. Not as much as I'm curious to see what all's going on with my dude Aemond, though.
Sounds like he's taking credit for the dragon attack.
Yeah, he's just fully gonna say it was a war crime.
I mean, what would you do?
Oh, as opposed to being like, whoops, I lost the keys and the codes to the nukes. No, I would totally be like, I did a war crime instead of that. Absolutely. I really love his unearned confidence. Like, I'm not the biggest Daemon Targaryen fan, but he has been to battle. He has seen some form of warfare. So I don't know. It's something.
Do you ever feel like maybe Aemond only thinks he's as great as he is because he's only ever had to compare himself to Aegon? Like, sure, he thinks that he's a great dragon rider and warrior and scholar compared to his lame ass older brother.
Yeah, good point. I love him. I think both of those actors are good. I hope to see them interact together this season. I know some fans were pretty unhappy that Aemon didn't kill Luke on purpose, but I actually kind of I feel like it's highlighting the pettiness and pointlessness of a civil war in general, a war for a throne in particular. Like anyone could have de-escalated this at any point in time. And showing that an accident can set off this avalanche of tragedy, I think is a good move.
Hard disagree. But only because I can't really say it's an accident. I mean, is it an accident if literally any other member of Team Green goes to Storm's End and the story ends differently? I mean, if Aegon had gone instead of Aemond, Luke would have made it back fine. Any other person and things would have turned out completely differently. It had to be that particular combination of Luke following his mom's orders completely to the letter to his detriment, old grudges, unwillingness to back down, just a perfect storm of bad decisions.
All right, so one in favor of an accident,
and one that says it's not an accident.
and now let's get into our least favorite part of the Team Green trailer.
I was so sad for Alicent when she was lighting a candle alone where she and Rhaenyra were praying together as girls.
Yeah, she's so isolated now, and I think she's starting to figure out how many allies she really doesn't have. And on a shallow note, my God, Olivia Cook is so beautiful.
Oh, Allison. She's perfect.
I feel like she's like if there was an anamorph that turned into a beautiful Raphaelite oil painting, she would be the halfway transformation point between like the person and the painting.
Yeah, she's like if a witch enchanted a beautiful porcelain doll to come to life and then accidentally sow seeds of destruction everywhere.
And she's such a good actress.
So talented. Allison, if you're watching this, I would never make you show feet, but if you asked, I would show hole.
Allison, I'm in the hole as we speak, and it's okay.
Bitch.
Of course, I feel like even Team Green has a hard time defending Kriston Cole. And normally I'm actually pretty good at it. It's just that, like, a couple of weeks ago, I had a run in with a dude who got mad at me because I didn't live up to, like, how I was as a teenager. So, like, I'm less sympathetic to his type right now.
However,
However, I'm curious to see because he does seem to have like some sense. His loyalty is to Alicent more than Aegon
at this point,
at this point.
we haven't seen him get that necklace yet and all the power that comes with it.
That's very true, and I'll be curious to see if it changes him.
I think the main takeaway for Team Green is that everyone, and I mean everyone, Team Black, Team Green, and you should feel bad when something bad happens to Helena.
Yeah, we love Helena in this house. I'm looking forward to seeing you in season 2.
We light the way.
Hey, CT,
Uh-huh.
do you want to talk about House of the Dragon?
Let's go.
So, first thoughts from watching the official Team Black trailer.
Whoa. Rhaenyra's going through it.
So, first thoughts about the official Team Black trailer.
Rhaenyra's really going through it. I also noticed that she referred to Aegon specifically as Alicent's son.
Yeah, not my brother, not even my father's son, just Alicent's. It's like he's barely even a player in this war that's about to be fought about him in their own minds.
I'm very curious to see if her relationship with Daemon is strengthened this season because she's let him off the leash, so to speak, or if they're going to fall by the wayside because there is now a rift between the two of them.
Yeah, that's true. He straight up choked her at the end of last season.
Right. But not because she was more powerful than him.
How so?
Well, he was all set to cooperate with her until she basically let slip that Viserys had shared something with her that he never had with him. Daemon thought that they were going into this war as equals. The fact that they actually aren't might throw him for a bit of a loop.
Oh, so you think that essentially he's back where he started at season 1, like desperately trying to prove that he was good enough for his brother, who's no longer there.
Uh-huh. Plus, Team Black is really the one that we're focusing on as far as the themes of love being the death of duty, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's true. This all kind of got started because King Viserys wanted to do his duty and produce an heir, ended up killing the woman that he loved. And then because he loved Rhaenyra and wanted to make things right with the one person that he had left from Aemma, he neglected to do his duty both as a father and as a king as far as his other kids were concerned.
And now we get to see how duty changes Aegon, because he's never really had it.
Yeah, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about Team Black.
Right.
Other thoughts?
My boy Corliss looks like shit. I'm pretty concerned about him.
His hair looks better, though.
Everybody's hair looks better. Everybody on the show's hair looks better.
You know, yeah, especially the shots that we've seen of Bela or Reyna, especially the one that looked like she just had a ball of twine on her head.
We're just going to say that Damon hadn't learned how to do their hair yet.
Perfect. It was he was grieving and he hadn't learned how to work with their hair. Corliss did look pretty rough in that trailer.
I assume his mortality is on his mind. Maybe that is going to influence a few of his decisions down the line.
Yeah, I guess now's the time to pour one out for Lenore. Since they've cast, I was so smug after the end of the first season. I was like, Lenore is going to come back in disguise as Adam of Hull, and that's how Sea Smoke is going to get claimed. But I mean, I guess
he died in battle with Carl, but he actually died adventuring like he wanted to.
Yeah, R.I.P. though. I'm gonna miss him. I liked Lenore. I really like that actor. I hope to see him in more stuff. I kind of fell in love with how much I hated him in the show Chewing Gum. And I don't know, I wish his journey weren't over on this show. I guess now's as good a time as any to throw in that I wish there had been at least one line where maybe Rhaenyra had said, like, I thought one of them would be yours, just so that we'd know for sure that he was infertile. Like, they kind of made it sound like they couldn't even sleep together.
Which makes me sort of wonder how the Song of Ice and Fire people actually think homosexuality works, because Renly couldn't perform with Marjorie either.
Right. But, like, there's gay men with whole families out there. Like, I want to be careful how I phrase this because I don't want it to come across as like, you can stay in the closet forever and have a whole family. I don't think you should do that. But I feel like they're underestimating what a gay person has to do to keep that illusion up.
Right. If we have to switch over to, well, you can't judge by medieval standards every time that there's an assault or a death during birth, then we also have to apply it to people living queer in medieval times. They did. Not the restaurant. This video is not sponsored by Medieval Times. They should rename that restaurant.
And of course, we can't discuss Team Black without discussing your big crush.
Oh.
Digby, please stop rubbing against my tripod. The one that you have all those little doodles of.
Again, I think I need you to narrow it down because, truthfully, I've had thoughts about Caraxes.
Okay, we're talking about Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. The realm's delight, Viserys' named successor, and honestly, one of the most stunning people that has appeared on my living room screen in years. Alicent Hightower and I don't have much in common, but we are both unhealthily obsessed with Rhaenyra Targaryen.
You think Alicent would show feet for Rhaenyra?
I'd show feet for Rhaenyra. You don't have feet. I'd grow feet for Rhaenyra.
Anyway, yeah, I agree. Emma Darcy is one of those people that just has a face like a piece of modern art sculpture. I feel like every time they turn, I find a new angle to appreciate and bask in awe of.
Rhaenyra is the kind of queen that you carve her into a prow of a ship and then you take that ship out and conquer the world. Rhaenyra is the kind of queen that you stamp her profile on a coin and you can spend it anywhere. And it's good to have coins that are good anywhere.
You're not about to do an ad for CT tokens again because I told you I did not want you sponsoring the video.
Oh no, that fell through. Also, I might be in some trouble. Nah.
But what do you want to see from her this season?
Well,
Well, obviously, you never want to see the people that you love at their lowest. But we are talking about Westeros, and people generally get really interesting at their lowest. Rhaenyra has officially lost a daughter, a son, a father, and the throne. Not to mention, just had a pretty upsetting conversation with her husband. Yeah, this is probably about as low as we have ever seen her. And I just know that there's about to be some compelling scenes to come out of it. You got a little drool on your chin. Sorry. I just get really excited about good performances. If I have a complaint, I think that Damon's armor looked a little plasticky in the shot where he's, shaking down the castle. Like, Matt Smith's great. His wig also looks better. He delivered the line beautifully, but something about the black armor when they mattify it a little bit, it looks a little bit plasticky. Excuse me. Do you save this for me? That's disgusting. You're disgusting. And finally, Rhaenyra says that she fears what she has begun. Do you? No, I wanted to see more when she began it a couple of years ago. Frankly, I think the studios should be held accountable for making us wait this long, and it's a debt that they're gonna pay with fire and blood. Noted. I can't wait for Blood and Cheese. You guys are gonna be crying so hard. You know what? I think I saw Rhaenyra's future. What about you? Hey, let me tell you so. Hey, guys. I think we can all agree that whether you're Team Green, Team Black, or completely neutral, there's something to look forward to with the upcoming season. Should we hold for Digby scratching? No. You know what else we shouldn't hold for? Indecisive people. Yeah, didn't you watch the trailer? All must choose. I don't. All must choose. No, look, okay, so first of all, neither team should want any of us because, as I said earlier in the video, we don't stand on shit. We will break our oaths, and they should be very nervous for any team that would have us. And for another, I know that HBO is really leaning into the Team Green, Team Black, but House of the Dragon understands that it is very silly to root for either team. Remember the guy that was like tied to a stake and cheering for Prince Daemon and then got squashed by that dragon? Like, that's you guys. We aren't talking from the position of royals, we're just talking from the positions of collateral damage in a very pointless battle. Team Green or Team Black, to the people at the top of the heap, you are essentially fuel. And if you don't choose, what's the worst that could happen? You could find out. Yeah, don't wake the dragon. The point is, I don't have to choose. And by all means, let me be an example of why you don't have to either. You can just completely enjoy the show, not pick a side, and nothing bad will happen. You think so? For the glory of King Aegon. We do this for our queen. Ah! Oh! Nobody wants puppets to have feet. Yeah, that's true. You get way too aware of like the positioning of everything when they have legs to. We're gonna make a little adjustment. Do what you need to. Your eye patch is actually stabbing the shit out of my fingers sometimes. I could talk less. No, because then I'd have to talk more. Crush on Team Black. Who? Oh, Scram. Hey, Digby. Digby, are you ready for your close-up? Hey, buddy, we're trying to film something. Do you think you could, home? I just wanted y'all to know that, like, he has had all day and the whole time setting up to be doing this, and he waited. Bro, again? Come on. Can you tell it's almost time to feed the cats?